Premium quality football shirts at an extremely affordable price. Sound good? If so, check out the sponsor of today's video, jerseyfifa.com. You can see that I've sent you some shirts and they really are top quality, so make sure to click the link in the description to go find a shirt for yourself or perhaps as a gift for someone else. And you can now use code JerseyFIFA at checkout for 10% off your order. That's code JerseyFIFA at checkout for 10% off your order. I really do recommend their product, so go take a look. Now let's get into the analysis. So about a week and a half ago now, the news broke that Frenkie de Jong could be close to completing a transfer to Manchester United this summer. And let's be honest, this came as a bit of a surprise. I don't really think that any of us saw this coming. But if I'm being honest, this is an absolute dream for me personally. He is one of my favourite players in the world, and the idea of seeing him week in week out in the Premier League is quite exciting. So let's take a look at him as a player. So Frenkie de Jong is 25 years old. He was born in the Netherlands and has since become a key player for his national side. All of course whilst making the move from Ajax to play in the famous Barcelona midfield. One of the first things to point out about de Jong is that he spent a lot of his youth in the Ajax academy, and that alone is very much a signal of how he is as a player, and he really does fit that Dutch school of thinking for midfielders. It was of course under Ten Hag at Ajax that de Jong was really introduced to the rest of the world. The two of them had a good relationship at the club, and Ten Hag really nurtured Frenkie into one of the best midfielders in all of Europe. This of course earned Frenkie de Jong his big dream move to Barcelona. Although to be honest, things haven't gone quite as well in Spain, largely because I don't believe that any of his managers at the club have played him in his best position. I think it's for this reason that he could potentially be tempted by a move to Manchester United. It will be some new scenery for him and a chance for him to really prove himself at one of the biggest clubs in all of world football. And there is also the obvious point that it would allow de Jong the chance to reunite with Ten Hag, a manager that he would be hoping would be able to really get the best out of him by playing him in his best position in the midfield. So for me, I am of the belief that Frenkie de Jong is at his best when playing on the left hand side of the midfield, whether that be in a double pivot or a tad further up the pitch in a midfield 3 from where he can still drop deep. As I hinted at there, de Jong really is a player that loves dropping towards his own defensive third to get the ball, and once in these deep areas he is up there as one of the most press resistant players in the world, with an excellent ability to turn. This press resistance is something that this Manchester United side desperately needs, because at the moment, watching this side try and get out of the press is a bit of a disaster, and the signing of de Jong would go a long way to addressing this. Whilst I don't want to compare him to other players too much, it is quite clear that this is an area of the game that someone like Fred struggles with, so again in this regard, de Jong would be a massive upgrade for Manchester United. Having played his way through the press for his team, de Jong is also a very complete passer, and whether it's short or longer range, he is very comfortable taking the ball almost anywhere on the pitch to maintain possession for his side. Again, if de Jong was to come into this Manchester United team, then he would instantly be one of the best passers at the club, and again it's a possible way for Manchester United to address a massive issue that is currently in the team. As well as being one of the best passers at the club, I would personally go as far as saying de Jong is maybe one of the best passers in the world, and obviously if United are able to bring this sort of quality in, then it would be a big bonus. As I said earlier, de Jong is also pretty good with his longer passing as well. He isn't exactly the best in the world, but he is still very capable of playing these longer range passes, although he prefers to progress the ball in a different way. In fact, de Jong's preferred method of progression is with his dribbling ability, and he really is brilliant at gliding his way past players, and just trust me, when he starts dribbling with the ball he is a joy to watch. For me personally, it's this which makes de Jong one of my favourite players in the world, and if you haven't seen it before then make sure to go check out some compilations after this video, because he oozes pure quality when he gets into his dribbling rhythm. Again, in this department I do think he is probably the best dribbling midfielder in the world. Someone like Modric is certainly up there, but for me de Jong's technical ability and centre of gravity makes him certainly one of the best. This is backed up when we look at his FB Ref report, and we can see that he ranks in the 95th percentile for progressive carries, highlighting that he is one of the most effective in Europe's top 5 leagues when it comes to carrying the ball forward. This ability is something that was quite clear early on in de Jong's career, especially with his famous de Jong turn, which allows him to effortlessly turn away from the opposition before carrying the ball forward for his side. I think this is one of the reasons that Barcelona have adapted his position slightly. They recognised his ability to carry the ball forward, so thought that he might be better off being used as more of a box-to-box midfielder at Barcelona. To be fair, this has helped De Jong to an extent, and in particular, it has allowed him to improve his ability in the final third. And over the past couple of years, he has certainly added a bit more of a creative side to his game in these dangerous areas. This was something that De Jong struggled with a bit more earlier on in his career, although he has certainly improved in this area since moving to Barcelona, and whilst it may not be his best position, it has allowed him to develop his game. On top of this, he's also improved his ability when shooting a goal. He showed glimpses at Ajax and has continued this, although to be honest, he still only really contributes the occasional goal to his side. It's certainly not his strength. Whilst he may struggle a little bit in the final third, Frenkie certainly contributes plenty to his side out of possession, and despite being such a pleasing player to watch on the ball, he is happy to help with the dirty work out of possession. Actually, probably the most surprising thing is this tackling ability. He may not be the biggest or strongest midfielder in the world, but he is more than happy to disrupt the opposition with sliding tackles in order to end the team's attacks. It's things like this that will make him such an appealing signing for Ten Hag, because he has this ability to combine technical brilliance on the ball with this willingness to do the dirty work off the ball. He looks like the perfect signing. The good thing is that Ten Hag already has an excellent understanding of De Jong and what he has to offer as a player, and I don't think he's someone that would play him out of position. For example, I don't personally see him as a creative midfielder. I don't think that De Jong is a deep-lying playmaker either, certainly not as the most central player, and personally I wouldn't class him as a regista, because I'm of the belief that he needs a holding midfielder to play alongside him. For this reason, if De Jong was brought into the club, then I do still think that Manchester United would need another new midfielder, and we all know that United have needed a new holding midfielder for some time, and it is still the case at the club. If United were to sign De Jong and use a holding midfielder next to him, then the side could have an incredible midfield balance, allowing De Jong to play in a deeper left position, the area of the pitch where I think he is best. It is of course also the same sort of position to the one that we saw him playing when he was still at Ajax, and it was obviously Ten Hag that put him in this position, so I wouldn't be at all surprised to see something similar happening once again. Once in this position, De Jong really could become a key ball progressor for this Manchester United side, thanks to his ability to drop deep in order to receive the pass from the centre backs before then looking to carry the ball forward. Having progressed the ball for his side, I am very confident that De Jong is the sort of player that could really take control of a game, bringing a real element of quality and control in the centre of the park, taking the United team to the next level. Importantly, De Jong would also bring an element of control to the side as well. There would be situations where he looked to progress the ball, but De Jong is also extremely intelligent and understands when to slow the play down just a little bit. However, when Manchester United need it, De Jong has that bit of gold dust and magic in his boots, which allows him to quickly flick the switch and move the ball forward at pace, and that's exactly why I think he can really dictate a game. Without wanting to repeat myself too much, I do genuinely believe that if Manchester United can make this move happen, then they will genuinely be signing one of the best midfielders in the world at just 25 years of age. I think it's his ability to progress the ball through the lines that would make him so crucial to this Manchester United side, and I don't think I can really put into words how much this is currently lacking in the current United team from this season. De Jong's all-around ability is also really summed up when we look at his stats from this season. Just quickly reading through these numbers, we can see that he is extremely well-rounded, and he is just a very complete central midfielder. Perhaps the most surprising thing from those stats was his 75% tackle success rate that he has had this season. He doesn't exactly make a load of tackles, but when he does commit, he wins the ball for his side more often than not. Whilst he will contribute to his team out of possession, you are ultimately buying the Dutchman for what he has to offer on the ball, and as I've been saying throughout, he will take the technical level of this United team to a completely different level to what it is currently. I'd like to think that his pure footballing intelligence alone will be enough to help him to adapt to the Premier League quicker than what some other players might, and we can see exactly why Ten Hag wants to bring him into the club. He is a player that understands Ten Hag's philosophy, so he could be extremely useful when it comes to implementing these new ideas at Manchester United. This would be a sign of them moving the club in the right direction, with United looking to change their focus towards signing more technically and tactically gifted players, as opposed to the physical traits that have been prioritised recently. Some will argue that De Jong is the wrong type of signing because he is an established name with an expensive price tag, and I do understand that point, but even long-term rebuilds can be helped with a major signing to speed up the process. That's what we saw at Liverpool. Klopp signed less established players, but then also spent big on players like Alisson and Van Dijk, so I don't see any reason why Manchester United shouldn't pursue this move. It looks like pure class, but I want to hear your thoughts, so get in the comments down below and let me know. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.